Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. That's the hard truth we dodge, my friends. When you stop feeding someone your energy, their brain doesn't clap, it panics. That's your leverage. Here's the hook. They didn't come back because you vanished. They came back because you finally became harder to shake. Before we break it down, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps this message reach more people who need it. Stay with me. Hey folks, imagine this. You were a lighthouse. Night after night, your beam guided their ship. Then one evening, click, the light goes off. Not in anger, in alignment. What happens? They don't suddenly love the dark. They start circling the coastline, searching for the beam they thought would always be there. That's the moment the brain flips from comfort to confusion. Or imagine a mirror that always told them, "You're amazing." One day that mirror shows nothing, not hate, not drama, just stillness. Do you know what stillness does to a noisy mind? It makes it hear itself for the first time. People call it magic when they suddenly return. It isn't magic, it's math. Their brain was predicting your old pattern. Quick replies, sweet words, endless effort. When your pattern breaks, their prediction breaks. Psychologists call this a prediction error. I call it the "oh, wait" moment. It's when their ego realizes the script has changed and the audience, yes you, stopped clapping. And no, it's not Mercury retrograde, folks. It's growth grade. Let's break some lies. Lie. If I stop chasing, they'll think I don't care. Truth. You didn't stop caring. You stopped performing. Lie. If they look happy online, they're over me. Truth. True peace doesn't need a stage. When people are really okay, they disappear into real life, not into reels. Lie. If they come back, it means fate. Truth. A return is a signal. Standards write the story. You'll notice the signs when the spotlight moves, the jokes from nowhere. They saw this and thought of you. The late night hey, not because you became cooler, but because you became calmer. Calm is rare. Calm is gravity. Their mind starts to chase the relief that your presence used to give them. That's the tug they feel at 1:13 a.m. when they check your page and pretend it was an accident. We both know it wasn't. Here's the fun part, your freedom. You don't need coldness. You need clarity. You don't need to show them. You need to show up for yourself. Keep your routines. Guard your sleep. Train, build, speak simple. If they test, smile small and ask, "What are you asking for?" That one question moves the story from games to truth. No drama, no long speeches, just clean lines. Remember this, my friends. Attention is cheap. Presence is rare. You gave presence. That's why the absence speaks. And when you finally return to yourself, you stop auditioning for roles that never fit. You become the lighthouse again, steady, not needy, bright, not burning out. Anyone who wants to sail with you will steer with intention, not with mixed signals. So stay with me. We're going to open the hood and look at what actually fires in their brain when you pull back. The ego shock, the chemistry loop, the meaning-making, and the tests they run to feel safe without saying it out loud. By the end, you'll have language you can use and standards you can keep. If this has already clicked, press like, subscribe, and lock it in with today's affirmation. Type it in the comments so your future self sees it when things get noisy. I choose peace. Number 1. When your silence breaks their script. Silence isn't punishment, it's proof you've changed. Let that land, my friends, because the first real shift doesn't happen on your phone. It happens in their brain the moment your old pattern dies. Think of it like this. For the longest time, you were a song on repeat. Predictable chorus, predictable beat, predictable skip to the part they liked. Then one day, the music stops. Not a glitch, a decision. And suddenly, all they can hear is the clock on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. That tick is their nervous system asking a question it never had to ask before. What if I don't run this show anymore? Picture a street where a traffic light has been green for months. People cruise, no brakes, no caution. Then, red. Cars slam the pedal, horns, confusion. But the light isn't broken. It's working for the first time. That's your silence. That's your boundary. And deep down, they know it. The green light version of you, the one who kept apologizing, explaining, over-explaining, has left the intersection. Now they're sitting there, foot hovering, trying to decide whether to stop, turn around, or finally drive with respect. Questions start flooding them, the kind they used to outsource to your reassurance. Did I misread them? Are they with someone? Why aren't they reacting? It's not just curiosity. It's identity friction. They thought they had your rhythm mapped out, your fast reply, your long messages, your willingness to make it smooth, even when they made it messy. Your silence breaks the script. And when a script breaks, actors forget their lines. That's why you see the odd behavior, the late-night hey, the inside joke ping, the accidental like on a post from 7 months ago. It isn't random. It's the mind looking for a door back to certainty. But I want to break some lies before we go further. Lie 1. If you stop chasing, they'll think you don't care. Truth, you didn't turn cold, you turned clear. Care without self-respect is not love. It's a leash you hand to someone else. Lie 2. Their highlight reel means they're fine. Truth, when people are actually fine, they live. When they're not, they perform. Peace is quiet. Proof needs a stage. Lie 3. If they return, the story writes itself. Truth, a return is just ink and paper. Your standards are the hand that writes. Let's talk about fear, yours and theirs. Their fear is simple, loss of control. They were comfortable in the role of chooser. Your quiet steals that costume, and now the mirror shows them as they are, not as they were applauded to be. Your fear is different. What if my silence pushes them away forever? But hear me. People who leave because you became self-respecting were never staying for your soul. They were staying for your softness. You're not pushing them away. You're pulling yourself together. That's growth, and growth always threatens the parts of others that benefited from your old patterns. Why is this difficult? Because your nervous system remembers the chase like muscle memory. Your thumbs remember the paragraphs. Your evenings remember the overthinking. You're not battling them. You're battling your past self. And the past self loves 2 things: a quick fix and a familiar pain. Detachment asks for neither. It's clean, it's calm, and it's slow. That slowness will make you think you're failing. You're not. You're healing at a pace that lasts. Metaphor time. Imagine a house you built with open windows and no locks, fresh air, constant breeze. Anyone could lean in. You told yourself it was welcoming. Really, it was boundaryless. Now you're installing doors. Not a fortress, just hinges, keys, and respect. As you do, some people will knock, some will shake the handle, some will go quiet because they were only interested when entry was free. Good. Let them teach you who they are. Doors don't trap you, they teach you. Another image. A garden hose left running all night. By morning there's a puddle, a mess, no pressure left to water anything real. That was your emotional availability on autopilot. You didn't know it was leaking until the yard turned to mud. Closing the valve feels harsh at first, like you're starving everything. You're not. You're building pressure, so when you choose to water, it actually gives life. Now, let's look inside their minds with honesty. Your silence triggers a prediction error. Their brain expected reward. Your attention. and the reward didn't arrive. Dopamine rises in anticipation, then crashes. Cortisol pops up with stress. The system seeks relief. Relief often looks like a ping, "Hey, how have you been?" or a nudge through a mutual friend. They're not always plotting. Many times they're soothing. But soothing isn't the same as sincerity. This is why your job isn't to be cruel. Your job is to be clear. So what do you say when they test the water? Keep your language simple and sober. What are you asking for? See how that line drags the conversation out of smoke and into sunlight. Or, if this is about real repair, name it. If they're ready, they'll risk clarity. If they're not, you'll save both of you from another loop. Remember, you're not here to negotiate your worth. You're here to honor it. Why do they think like this? Because humans protect comfort before they protect truth. It's easier to scroll and post and pretend you're okay than to admit you ignored something rare when it stood in front of you. When your energy stops feeding the illusion, reality gets loud. They don't just miss you, they miss who they got to be when you carried the emotional weight. That's the hook no rebound can replace, the feeling of being grounded in someone else's steadiness. And that's why you must keep your steadiness for you now. Rising from fear looks ordinary from the outside. Fewer explanations, a slower reply, more time at the gym, at work, with your craft, less time rehearsing imaginary debates in the shower. You're not trying to win, you're trying to be well, and wellness changes magnetism. People feel it before they admit it. That's why you'll notice the lingering in their eye contact, the thoughtful pause before they type, the way their jokes try to take you back to the old rhythm. Smile. You can love a memory without reliving it. Let them show you, not tell you. Let yourself show you, not promise you. Standards are not speeches, they are schedules and choices. If they want a door, they'll bring a key called clarity, not a crowbar called chaos. If they bring nothing, the lock works. That's not icy, that's rational love for your future. We'll go deeper in a moment into the chemistry loop and the tests they run. But for now, remember this. Your silence isn't empty. It's structured. It holds your new shape. It's the red light that teaches every driver your intersection deserves respect. And when you hold that, people who can drive with intention will arrive on time, with signals, without the noise. End this moment strongly. Look at the person in the mirror and remind them you didn't lose anything by choosing yourself. You gained the only thing that can't be taken, your center. Type today's affirmation in the comments so your future self can see it when the doubt tries to sneak back in. I choose peace. Show them with your calm. Show yourself with your discipline. Show the world with your standards. And stay close. Next, we're opening the hood on why they check your page at 1:13 a.m. and what you must never do when that ping arrives. Number 2. Why they check your page at 1:13 a.m. Cravings aren't proof of love. They're proof of habits losing their grip. Sit with that, my friends, because the late-night ping isn't romance waking up. It's chemistry looking for relief. When you pulled back, you didn't just change the relationship, you changed their nervous system's routine. Their brain had a neat little loop. They reach, you reassure. They wobble, you steady. They push, you pull close. Predictable hit, predictable calm. Then one day, nothing. The loop spins, but the dispenser's empty. That gap is where the midnight scrolls begin. Imagine a vending machine they've used for months. Tap the button, out pops sweetness. One day they tap and hear the clunk, but nothing drops. What do people do? They tap harder, they shake the machine. They look around, pretend they weren't trying that hard. Then they try again later. That's 1:13 a.m. check. Not because you're the only snack in the world, folks, but because their mind got used to you as the fastest relief. You trained them with kindness, now you retrain them with clarity. Here's the backstage view. Anticipation lifts dopamine. Maybe they'll reply. When your reply doesn't come, there's a dip. The body doesn't like dips. It asks for balance. Up comes cortisol, the stress signal. The quickest way to smooth the spike. A little contact, not a real conversation. Just a, hey, like in your story, a recycled inside joke. If you bite, the system gets a micro relief. They don't even register it as soothing. They just feel better for an hour. Then the loop starts again, often louder. That's why breadcrumbing never ends. It's chemistry without commitment. Let's break some lies cleanly. Lie. If I answer, I prove I'm mature. Truth. Maturity isn't answering. Maturity is answering with standards. Lie. If I ignore them, I'm playing games. Truth. Silence with purpose isn't a game. It's a boundary. Lie. But what if they forget me if I don't feed the thread? Truth. What's real doesn't need constant snacks. It needs honest meals at honest times. Games starve, standards nourish. They'll ask themselves quiet questions in this phase, questions you use to soothe for them. Did I overplay it? Are they with someone? Why does my chest feel tight when they don't look? It's not always love. Many times it's withdrawal from the you solve my feelings pattern. You were the emotional painkiller, warm, fast, dependable. The problem with painkillers is simple. They teach the body to stop making its own relief. When you stepped back, their system had to work again. Work is uncomfortable. That discomfort often dresses up as nostalgia. Metaphor time. Think of a snow globe. Shake it. Sparkles fly. Looks magical. Put it down. Everything settles and the scene is clear. The late-night urge is them shaking the globe for sparkle because stillness shows the truth. Did they honor something rare, or did they ride the rush and call it connection? When the glow fades, clarity walks in. They'll either choose growth or more glitter. Your job is not to shake the globe with them, but I get it. Your fear speaks too. What if my calm looks like I don't care? What if someone else answers and I lose them? Hear me, gently and firmly. You don't lose what's finally choosing you. You only lose what you only wanted in your chase. If someone else wins because they replied at 1:14 a.m., be grateful. They just took a job your future self would have resigned from. So what do you actually do when the ping arrives? Keep it simple. You don't owe ice. You owe integrity. If you're open to real talk, say so plainly. If this is about clarity, I'm open to a direct conversation. That line shifts the moment from dopamine to decision. If they reply with more glitter, memes, mystery, half-truths, do not perform. Try this. I don't do breadcrumbs. Or, I'm available for honest connection, not late-night loops. Clean, adults, calm. And if you're not open at all, I'm choosing space. Wishing you well. No courtroom, no counter-arguments. Your peace isn't a debate, it's a direction. Why do they think like this? Because the brain ranks certainty as safety. You used to be a guaranteed yes, a warm blanket in winter. Certainty left, and now the cold bites. It's human to reach for the old blanket, but you're not a blanket, you're a person. People can be present, people can be purposeful, people can be chosen, not used. And you, my friends, are choosing to be chosen. A little humor so we breathe. We've all seen the accidental like from a photo in 2022. That's not a time machine, that's a thumb doing recon at midnight. Smile. Don't turn it into a personality test. It's just the vending machine shaking again. No need to post a cryptic quote back. Keep the signal clean. Understand this distinction and you'll stay free. Relief is immediate and shallow. Repair is honest and specific. Relief sounds like, Hey stranger, ... Repair sounds like, I handled things poorly. If you're willing, I'd like to talk about how to do this differently. Relief needs your attention. Repair brings its own. One keeps you circling, the other lets you decide. End this section standing taller. Your silence isn't empty. It's a training ground. It trains you to keep your rhythm when someone else breaks theirs. It trains them to risk clarity if they want your presence. If they can't, that's data. If they can, you'll know by the weight of their words and the steadiness of their actions. No more vending machines, only real meals at real tables. Lock it in with today's simple line. Type it in the comments so your future self sees it when the 1:13 a.m. itch comes back. I choose clarity. Show them with your calm. Show yourself with your consistency. Show the world with your standards. Stay with me. Next, we'll expose the exact tests they run to keep pride and proximity, and I'll give you clean one-liners that hold your power without drama. Number 3, the tests they run and how you hold frame. Tests aren't love. They're fear looking for a shortcut. Sit with that, my friends, because when they circle back without risking honesty, they won't lead with truth. They'll lead with probes. Not to hurt you, mostly to protect themselves. Picture someone tapping a bridge before they cross it, throwing pebbles to see if it still holds. That's what those tiny pings are. A laugh react on a story, an inside joke from months ago, a you'll never guess who I ran into. At 11:47 p.m. They're not building the bridge. They're checking if you'll rebuild it for them. Imagine a cat edging a door it once pushed wide open. Paw, retreat, paw, retreat. They want in, but only if the room feels exactly like before. Warm, welcoming, costless. Your job isn't to slam the door or lay out a red carpet. Your job is to stand in the doorway with calm eyes and clear terms. This is where the old you used to gush, over-explain, prove, promise. Not anymore. Now you let their effort tell the story. They'll ask themselves questions they hope you'll answer for them without them having to ask. Are you still soft for me? Will you chase if I hint? Do I still have a signal inside your chest? They're not villains. They're human. Vulnerability is risky. Ego hates risk, so ego uses tests. The trouble is, tests don't heal anything. They measure safety without creating it. And that's why you'll feel the tug to perform. You want to show you're safe, steady, loyal. But performing turns you into yesterday's version of you, the one who did the emotional labor for both of you. Let's break lies before they break you. Lie. If I play along with the cute ping, we'll ease back naturally. Truth. Easing back naturally is how you slide into old patterns silently. Lie. If I set a boundary, I'll scare them away. Truth. Boundaries don't scare the right people. They invite the right behavior. Lie. If I answer every breadcrumb, I'm being kind. Truth. Kindness without clarity becomes consent to confusion. Why is this difficult? Because tests look harmless. A meme, a memory, how's your mum doing? And you're a good person. You want to be kind. You want to honor the history. But kindness without a frame turns into self-erasure. You can be generous and grounded at the same time. Think of a river. The water is generous. The banks are firm. No banks, no river, just a flood. So what are the common tests you'll see? The proximity test. They hover near your world. Likes, views, comments, without asking for anything real. The nostalgia test. They spark old inside jokes to see if your guard drops. The jealousy test. They post bait hoping you'll bite. The crisis test. They bring you a small emergency to see if you'll be rescued. The time test. They message late, so rejection stings less. Different costumes, same motive. Reassurance without responsibility. How do you hold the frame? You speak like a person who knows their time is expensive and their peace is priceless. No speeches, no sermons, clean lines that move the moment from fog to daylight. When they toss a vague opener, "Hey, stranger, you don't perform," you can smile and ask, "What are you asking for?" If they dodge, you don't chase the dodge. I don't do breadcrumbs. If this is about clarity, say what you mean. If they try a joke to pull you into the old rhythm, you can be warm and grounded. Good to hear from you. If you want a real conversation, I'm open to one. Notice the pattern. You're not cold. You're crafted. You don't punish. You pattern set. Why do they think like this? Because admitting I mishandled something rare and I want to try again is vulnerable, and vulnerability risks rejection. Tests aim to secure a soft landing without paying the price of honesty. But relationships don't run on coupons. They run on clarity. If they're ready for the real thing, they will eventually switch from pings to proposals, from hints to actual asks. If they don't, the test is complete. You have your data. There's a fear in you too, and let's name it. If I keep it this clear, I'll lose them. Hear me, gently and straight. If clarity costs you someone, confusion would have cost you yourself. Your future is too expensive for a discount loop. You're not here to win Instagram chess. You're here to win your life back. Metaphor time. You're a cafe that used to serve after hours for anyone who knocked. Now you close on time, post your hours, and keep the lights off when you're done. Some will press their face to the glass and wave. Some will rattle the handle and laugh. Some will check the sign, see the time, and return tomorrow with intention and cash. You don't shout at the window peekers. You don't reopen the door because they're charming. You trust the sign. You trust your hours. You trust your right to run this place well. Here's a small reframe to keep your heart soft and your spine strong. Assume goodwill. Require clarity. That way you don't turn cynical, but you also don't turn yourself into a reward machine. You lead with calm. You follow up with structure. You let actions, not adrenaline, do the heavy lifting. Close this section with your head high. Tests aren't curses, they're clarifiers. They show you where someone is in their courage. If they stay in the shallow end, you don't drain your ocean to meet them there. If they swim toward depth, you'll know by the way they name the past, honor your present, and outline a different future. Until then, keep your frame, keep your peace, keep your hours. Type today's line in the comments so your future self sees it when the cute pings tempt you back into old roles. I choose standards. Show them with your calm. Show yourself with your discipline. Show the world with your consistency. Stay with me. Next, we'll build your reply kit. Exact one-liners for apology, nostalgia, crisis, and jealousy, so you hold power without drama and make decisions without doubt. Number 4, the reply kit. Clean lines that keep your power. Clarity is kind. Confusion is cruel. Let that hit first, my friends, because when they return without a plan, your words must be simple, steady, and strong enough to hold both of you. Think of a runway in fog. Bright lines, steady lights, no poetry, just guidance. That's what your replies are. Not ice, not performance. Guidance. Picture this. You used to be a 24/7 cafe. Lights on late, special orders, no posted hours. People wandered in whenever the mood hit, and you served with a smile, even when you were tired. Now the sign is up, the hours are clear, and the recipes are set. Some will grumble, some will test the door after closing, some will read the sign and come back ready. Your replies are that sign. They tell the truth without a fight. When an apology finally arrives, don't rush to rescue their relief. An apology isn't a reunion, it's a doorbell. Open carefully. You can say, Thank you for owning that. If you're asking to rebuild, say so plainly and share how it will be different. Feel how that shifts the ground. You're not rejecting, you're requiring. If they try to slide past the weight with clever lines, bring it back to daylight. I'm open to a direct conversation about repair. If that's not what you want, I wish you well. No courtroom, no counterattack. Calm runway lights. Nostalgia is a soft trap. Remember that road trip. Remember our song. They want the old feeling without the new responsibility. You can keep your heart warm and your spine strong. Good memory. If you're reaching for the present, name what you want now. That one sentence separates reminiscence from reconnection. If they keep tossing memories like confetti, you can stand in clarity. I don't revisit the past for comfort. I'm available for the present with structure. You're not cold, you're current. The crisis message shows up when their pride is tired, but their courage is thin. I'm having a rough night. Could we talk? In the past, you grabbed your cape and flew. Not anymore. You can be human and healthy. I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm not the right person for midnight comfort. If you want to discuss repairs in daylight, I'm open. Notice the shape, compassion without collapse. If they push harder, breathe and repeat. I don't do late-night loops. Daylight or nothing, your nervous system will thank you in the morning. Jealousy bait is the loud costume, flirty posts, fast stories, out with someone new hints. The hook is obvious, make you chase, make you prove, don't audition. If they come at you with triangles, keep it surgical. I'm not available for comparisons or games. If you want a real talk, ask for one. If they insist on smoking, let it be smoke. You didn't come to the fire to feed it. Breadcrumbs and vague pings are the noisiest quiet. Hey, you up? Stranger. Your old self would turn that into a novel. Your new self returns it to truth. What are you asking for? If they say just checking in, you can answer like an adult. Appreciate it. I'm doing well. If you have a clear ask, say it. If nothing clear comes, you already have your answer. Data over drama. The "we should catch up" line loves to waste calendars. Don't let it. If you're open, say, if this is about repair, suggest a time and topic. If you're not, say, I'm choosing space. Wishing you the best. Straight roads save hours you used to burn. Let's break the lies that keep people stuck. Lie. Strong people reply to everything. Truth. Strong people reply with purpose. Lie. Boundaries make you heartless. Truth. Boundaries make you honest. Lie. If I'm too clear, I'll push them away. Truth. If clarity pushes them away, confusion would have pulled you under. You're not losing, you're learning who can stand in daylight. Why is this so hard? Because your nervous system remembers the rush, the typing bubbles, the late-night ping, the tiny relief when you fixed it for both of you. Your body calls that relief love. It wasn't love, it was a hit. Hits are fast and empty. Health is slow and full. Health sounds like, here's what I'm available for. Health sounds like, this is what respect looks like for me. Health sounds like, no is a complete answer. And yes, your voice may shake the first few times. Shake and speak anyway. Trembling truth is still truth. They think the way they do because tests feel safer than asks. An ask risks rejection. A test only risks your time. Your replies flip that economy. You make tests expensive and honesty affordable. The moment you say what you mean, you invite courage. If they have it, it will show. If they don't, you won't have to guess. Life gets simpler when you stop translating smoke. Keep your humor so your heart stays light. When the accidental like on your 2021 photo pops up, smile. It's not a prophecy. It's a thumb doing midnight archaeology. You don't need to dig with them. Let the past be a museum they visit alone. End this part standing taller, not harsher. Your replies are not walls, they're windows with locks. You can see the view. You can let in fresh air. You can also close it when the weather turns. That's adulthood. That's love that doesn't abandon itself to keep company. If they're real, they'll match your clarity with clarity of their own. Apology with specifics, acknowledgement without excuses, a plan with dates and behaviors. If they're not, the fog will swallow them, and you'll still have your runway. Lock it in with today's line. Type it in the comments so your future self sees it when the pings arrive. I choose clarity. Show them with your calm. Show yourself with your standards. Show the world with your consistency. Stay with me. Next, we'll move into the decision moment. Re-engage with structure or release with grace, and exactly how to protect the person you became, either way. Number 5. The decision moment. Re-engage with structure or release with grace. Love without standards is just longing in a nicer outfit. Let that land, my friends, because the moment they circle back, the real question isn't, do they miss me? It's, do we have a path that protects who I became? This is the fork in the road, not fireworks, not fate, framework. Picture a train platform at dawn. 2 trains arrive at once. One is loud, music, confetti, memories. The other is quiet, clear schedule, clean seats, posted stops. The loud one promises vibes. The quiet one promises arrival. You can't ride both. Your future self is already on one of them, waiting to see which version of you steps aboard. Here's the truth we often dodge. Re-engagement without structure is relapse, and release without grace is bitterness in disguise. You're choosing between 2 forms of courage, the courage to rebuild with rules, or the courage to bless and let go. Either path demands your spine and saves your soul. The wrong path just delays the lesson until it hurts more. Why is this so difficult? Because the body remembers chemistry before it remembers clarity. The brain whispers, just say yes. We can figure it out later. Later is where patterns hide. Later is where hope turns into housekeeping for someone else's comfort. This time, you bring daylight to the doorway. If we step in, here's how the house works. If not, I'm locking up and moving on. Start with the clean question only adults can answer. Are we talking about nostalgia or repair? Nostalgia wants to soothe, repair wants to change. Nostalgia will send you playlists and pictures. Repair will send you a plan. Nostalgia says, let's see what happens. Repair says, here's what we'll do differently and how we'll hold it together when it gets hard. If they can't hear that distinction, you just saved months of circling. Let's break some lies before they bend your backbone. Lie. If I ask for structure, I'll kill the spark. Truth. Real spark survives structure. Only chaos fears clarity. Lie. If I release them with kindness, it means I never cared. Truth. Caring is not clinging. Love isn't proven by how long you bleed. Lie. Time will fix us if we just get back together. Truth. Time repeats whatever you don't repair. They think like this, reaching for comfort over clarity, because uncertainty stresses the nervous system. The quickest painkiller is familiarity. If your old rhythm meant they didn't have to confront themselves, of course their first instinct is to resurrect it. That's not evil. That's human. But human doesn't mean healthy. Your job is to set the terms that invite health, or choose a freedom that refuses harm. If you choose re-engagement, make it a table with legs, not feelings floating on air. You don't need a lawyer or a lecture. You need 3 sentences and a calendar. Try this, calm and simple. If we try again, this is what respect looks like for me. Consistent communication, no testing, shared plans for the next month. If we wobble, we talk the same day. If that's not your lane, no hard feelings. That sounds ordinary. Good. Ordinary is where the real miracles live. If they say yes, you're not done. You schedule one check-in, 2 specific behaviors, and 1 non-negotiable boundary. You haven't trapped anyone. You've just built a place where both of you can stand without guessing. If you choose release, make it a blessing, not a hidden courtroom. No verdicts, no character assassinations, no hidden hope disguised as closure. Try this. I'm grateful for what we had and what we learned. I'm choosing peace, wishing you well. Then honor it with action. Mute, unfollow, or at least remove the midnight doors you know you walk through when you're lonely. Release is a practice, not a paragraph. Every time you decline a breadcrumb, you teach your nervous system that safety can be self-made. Fear will try to bargain. What if I lose something rare? Hear me clearly. You don't lose what refuses to show up with you. What's rare isn't a person who returns. What's rare is a person who returns prepared. Prepared to apologize without excuses. Prepared to name where they went small. Prepared to carry their side of the bridge. Prepared to treat your peace as a person, not a prop. If they are that person, structure won't scare them. It will relieve them. If they're not, the structure will feel like sandpaper, and that discomfort is your map out. Metaphor time. Think of your life as a lighthouse with a guest dock. Your light, mission, values, routines stays on regardless of who's sailing. If they want to anchor, there are posted rules. Tie your lines, respect the tide, no midnight chaos. Boats that can't follow rules drift. Boats that can, rest. Your job is not to chase boats into storms. Your job is to keep the light honest. Another image, a garden replanted after a drought. If they come back, they don't get to pick flowers you haven't grown yet. They bring water, soil, time, and care. You're not a florist for their feelings. You're a gardener of your future. And still, keep a little humor so your heart stays human. You can be serious about your standards and light about the awkward moments, like when they accidentally bring up your old song at the exact minute you're walking into the gym. Smile. You're allowed to be proud of how far you've come. Close this moment strong. Decisions define destinies more than emotions do. Choose the path that protects your center. If it's re-engagement, make it honest, structured, and slow enough for truth to breathe. If it's released, make it graceful and real enough that peace has room to grow. Either way, you win because you chose yourself with clarity, not noise. Lock it in with today's line. Type it in the comments so your future self sees it when the fork appears. I choose standards. Show them with your calm. Show yourself with your discipline. Show the world with your direction. Stay with me. Next, we'll blueprint your non-negotiables and build a 30-day structure that keeps attraction alive without sacrificing your peace. Number 6. Your 30-day structure. Non-negotiables that keep peace and attraction. Discipline is love that learns to keep its promise. Let that strike first, my friends, because if they've come back, or if they're circling the shore, what happens next isn't decided by late-night feelings. It's decided by daylight structure. Feelings are waves. The structure is the coastline. Waves can crash all they like. The coastline stays. Imagine a gym with no racks, no plan, no timer. Everyone means well, but nothing grows. That was your old dynamic, heavy on hope, light on form. This next month is different. Think of it like laying rails for a train you actually want to ride. Clear tracks, clear stops, clear arrival. No more sprinting on gravel and calling it progress. Start with you. Your non-negotiables are not demands. They're directions that keep you human. sleep that protects your mind, training that stabilizes your mood, work that anchors purpose, stillness that clears the fog. These aren't nice to have. They are the scaffolding that keeps you from collapsing into old reflexes when a cute ping hits your phone. The heart is honest when the body is regulated. That's why a calm schedule is louder than any speech about boundaries. Now, for the connection. Daylight, not midnight. Specific, not vague. You're not auditioning, you're arranging. 2 check-ins per week, short, focused, in the open, not in the shadows. 1 real plan together, set in advance, not let's see. If conflict appears, and it will, you talk the same day. No long silences as punishment. No performance posts to weaponize your image. You are not building a highlight reel. You are building a life, and if you don't know what to say in a hard moment, you say this. I'm feeling activated. I need an hour to reset. I'll return at 7 p.m. to continue. That one line is grown-up love. It protects your nervous system while protecting the conversation. Break the lies so they don't break you. Lie. Structure kills the spark. Truth. The right spark thrives in oxygen and order. Only chaos needs confusion to feel alive. Lie. If we plan, it means we lost the magic. Truth. Planning is how adults make room for magic without burning the house down. Lie. If they really care, they'll just know. Truth. Telepathy is fantasy. Clarity is care. Why is this hard? Because your body remembers the rush. Dopamine loves the random win, the sudden text, the quick validation, the high of we're good again without the work of being different this time. But you didn't come this far to rebuild the same room with fresh paint. You came to install beams that hold. That means fewer speeches, more habits, fewer promises, more calendars, fewer we'll try, more here's how. Metaphor time. Think of a lighthouse with a guest dock. Your light doesn't flicker depending on who's sailing by. It runs on schedule. If they want to anchor, there are posted rules. Tie your lines, respect quiet hours, no midnight chaos. Storms require shelter, not shouting. Boats that honor the dock get rest and safety. Boats that don't drift. You're not chasing them with a megaphone across the ocean. You're holding the light steady and the rules simple. You might ask, but what if they think I'm rigid? Hear this kindly. Being clear isn't rigid. It's readable. In fact, clarity is the most compassionate thing you can offer another person's nervous system. People can relax around steady signals. They get anxious around flashing ones. Your steadiness is a gift, both to them and to you. How do you measure progress across these 30 days? Not by butterflies, by behaviors. Do they move from breadcrumbs to clear asks? From nostalgia to ownership? From you know how I am to here's what I will do differently? Do you move from rescuing to responding? From over-explaining to naming standards once? From autopilot to intentional presence? If both lines rise, you have data that hope can trust. If their line dips into old tests while your line tries to hold both lives, you also have data, and this time you will believe it. You also need a release clause, graceful, clean, final if the structure keeps getting ignored, not as a threat, as a safety rail. If these basics can't hold, I'm going to choose peace and wish you well. You say it calmly once. If you must use it, you use it kindly, and then you keep walking. Closure isn't a perfect conversation. It's consistent behavior after the conversation. Keep a little humor to stay human. When the accidental 2019 photo like appears, smile. That's not destiny. That's midnight archaeology. You don't need to dig up your old self to be polite. You can be warm without being woven back in. And remember, you're not building a prison of routines. You're building a runway for presence. Presence is the quiet force of a person who knows where they're going and invites others to walk, not wobble. Real attraction breathes in that air. It deepens with reliability, it brightens with safety, it lasts with mutual care. That's the point of this month. Not perfection, pattern, finish strong. You didn't come here to prove you can tolerate chaos. You came here to prove to yourself that peace wasn't a phase, it's your home. If they can meet you there with honesty and consistent effort, beautiful. If they can't, bless it and keep your light on for the life you're actually building. Type today's final line in the comments so your future self sees it on the days the old rush calls your name. I choose structure. If this episode spoke to you, my friends, press like, subscribe and share it with someone who needs the reminder. Stay solid, stay kind, stay at the lighthouse.